Hi, everybody. Welcome to the final July episode of the Positivity Keys podcast. I'm Laura Allen, and today we're going to be wrapping up our series on trust with one of the most important kinds of trust that you're ever going to build, trusting the process. So if you've ever felt like you're doing the work, you're following the plan, you're staying the course, but the results aren't there, they're not showing up, well, you're not alone. This is the trust that's the hardest to hold because it demands endurance. It asks us to keep going when motivation has run dry. It asks us to believe that roots are growing even when nothing's blooming. I want to share with you the season of my life that I wanted to give up, not because I didn't believe in my mission, but because I couldn't see the proof. And I'm kind of still in that season, but I'll tell you what helped me. It's helping me stay steady. It's the action key, became my lifeline, and it's why learning to trust consistency over outcome might be the greatest mindset shift that you'll ever make. You know, we'll end up with 3 simple practices for long game trust, especially when you're tired, you're tempted to quit, or you're unsure of whether it's working or not. Let's finish this series strong with the kind of faith that doesn't just survive uncertainty, but it grows from it. So there's part of my business that's not where I want it to be. And I've done everything right. I've launched the lead magnet. I've created the course. I've posted consistently. I've followed my calendar, and the result? Crickets. I'm checking my inbox a dozen times a day, scanning my DMs, refreshing my stats. Each time I felt like the hope is just being drained a little bit more every day. And eventually I'm hitting a wall. So I sat down at my desk yesterday and said out loud, why am I even doing this? Nothing is happening. Then the quiet answer, because something is happening. You're becoming someone who stays. That was the moment when I realized, the results that I want, they're not only a result, they're not what I'm getting. I was developing discipline. I'm learning patience. And I'm proving to myself that I can keep showing up, not for applause, but because it matters. That's when the action key comes back into focus. The action key reminds us that momentum is building on movement, not motivation. It asks us to honor the process, not the grand gestures, not with the daily deliberate steps that you're taking. It's those small steps. The blog I almost didn't post, the call that I didn't show up, I showed up on, the journal prompt that I shared anyway. And those became and are becoming my foundation for trust. Not trusting in overnight success, but trusting in me, trusting in my values, trusting in what I'm building. Even if no one's clapping yet, here's the truth. No one likes to say long-term success doesn't always feel good while it's happening. It often doesn't, it feels repetitive, quiet, even boring. But trust is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's a practice, and it's carrying you through the dry seasons. Long game trust isn't about hype. It's about habits. It's about waking up and doing what you said you were going to do, keeping your small promises to yourself, keeping your energy focused, even when the numbers don't reflect your efforts. The action key teaches us that real transformation comes through consistency, imperfection, meaningful actions, and the longer that you walk and the deeper your roots are growing. So here's 3 practices to stay steady in the process. Number 1, choose one anchor habit. Pick one small action that you're going to commit to daily for 7 days, no matter what. This could be a post, a journal entry, a walk, a morning affirmation. Let it be your touchstone for progress. And then number 2, track your progress. You can't measure each day. Write down something that you learned, someone that you encouraged, or a mindset shift that you noticed. These are real results, even when they don't show up on paper. And then number 3, reflect. Before you react, when doubt creeps in, pause and ask, is this really failure? Or is this just a lull? Chances are it's just a quiet part of the growth cycle. So breathe. Then next, take your small actions. And this week, I want to invite you to stay steady no matter what. Let your trust be louder than your doubts. Let your commitment be stronger than your discouragement. Pick an anchor habit. Start tracking the invisible wins, and I want you to tag me with your reflections using Positivity Keys Trust. I'd love to cheer you on. I want you to cheer me on. Let's be there for each other. Thank you for walking through this trust series with me this month. And whether you're rebuilding self-trust, reopening to others, or learning to stay faithful in your waiting process, and you're doing the work that matters the most. I'll be back next week with a brand new theme for August. Until then, keep going. You're further along than you actually think.